Hi, my name is Carlos Edwardson. Welcome to Career Quest. So today I have with me a amazing individual. He is the Associate Director of Small Business at AB Tech. Please welcome to our show, Mr. Duane Adams.
Hey, Carlos.
How are you
having
doing?
me. I'm doing great. How are
Oh
you doing?
man, I'm doing pretty good, man. So, kind of like off air, we were kind of like talking about, some of your background and also trying to find out, where are you from? Are you a Asheville native? Are you a transient? Can you explain?
Yeah, it's really interesting. And I kind of touched on this before we went on the air, but I am considered an Asheville native.
Nice.
The reason I say that is because if you back up to my youth and when I went to elementary school and middle school and high school, I actually started off in Asheville. Mm-hmm. And then when I got into middle school, we moved out to the Alexander area. Okay. If you will.
Yeah.
So Alexander, if you're not familiar, it's between Leicester and Weaverville. So I was not necessarily in the city limits at that time, county school, but technically, yes, I'm from Asheville.
Nice, yeah. Nice. So, kind of touching on some of your background and some of your early kind of like upbringing, when you were in high school, did you ever imagine that you would be helping business or that you would be helping people with their own business, helping them kind of start their own business, like things like that? Was that going through like your head?
Absolutely not. What's really interesting, I joke about this with folks all the time. My mom, specifically my mom, was always big on, you need to be an attorney or a doctor.
Oh, yeah.
That's just how it was when I was growing up, and it was so fun. I had a profound conversation with my uncle one time. I'll never forget this. And he said, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And I said, "I want to be an attorney." And he said, "Go get that phone book." Back when they had a phone book,
Right.
And I went and grabbed the phone book off the bookshelf, and he said, "Turn to the yellow pages and look up attorneys." And it was about this thick. Wow. And he was like, See that? And I said, yeah. He said, you don't want to be an attorney. But anyway, and when you talk about entrepreneurship and small business ownership, I actually was surrounded by small business owners in my community.
Wow.
But I never really focused on that. It never dawned upon me what that involved and what an entrepreneur is. And so, I was surrounded by it, but I really wasn't, I guess I wasn't paying attention to it as much. Yeah. But I've always been in that environment, I guess.
Nice. Interesting. So when you say that you've always been around that whole environment, was it family members? Was it kind of like friends? Was it friends of family? Was it, church? Like, who exactly were those individuals to where you could kind of like see that, okay, they're doing that thing over there, I may be interested in it, maybe not yet? Who were these, people?
It was mainly friends of family. My mom was an oncology nurse, and my stepfather, I was raised by my stepfather. My stepfather was a lineman for Carolina Power and Light at the time, which is now
big.
Duke Energy. Yeah. And they both had careers that lasted 30 years. So
nice.
I saw two people who got up and went to work every day.
Right.
And rain, sleet, or snow, my stepfather was at work every day. And I can remember when we had the blizzard in '93 here in Asheville, and he went to work and was gone for 7 days. I mean, that was there was a lot of snow.
That's
during the blizzard of '93, and my mom, my mom passed a few years back, but
sorry to hear
several
about
years
that.
back. But I can remember her years later talking about that paycheck.
I'm telling you, overtime work.
That overtime check,
7 days a week. Woo.
Yeah. So he worked hard. He barely finished high school. I'm gonna be honest with you. But he had an extreme work ethic.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I had friends going back to my friends. I had friends who they had family businesses. One person had a tire business. Mm-hmm. One person had a floor covering business.
Wow.
And so forth and so on. But it never really dawned upon me, what they were. I just thought they just went to work.
Wow.
So
this is so interesting. One thing that's really popped out that I've noticed is that within this whole Asheville area over the years, there's been a lot of black entrepreneurs. Mm-hmm. A lot, and me, transitioning from Charlotte, moving up here to Asheville, my first thoughts wasn't really that. But then the closer that I got to certain people, I started to realize, oh my goodness, like we doing really good up here. Yeah. Like it's multiple people owning like businesses and doing like very well. Mm-hmm. And so I guess my next question is, what key lessons have basically guided you or kind of guided your whole transition into the role that you are in right now? I know that we kind of skipped college, kind of like previous jobs, but like what kind of helped kind of get you into your current position that you're in right now, I guess?
That's kind of a long story. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to just break it down into little bitty pieces, if you don't mind.
Yeah, for sure.
I think one of the things was when I came back home, I initially went off to a 4-year college, university, to be a physical therapist. Mm-hmm. Very competitive at that time. This was back in the early 90s. I'm telling my age. But it was a very competitive program. Yeah. They were taking like 25 students a year, and you had to have a 4.0 plus and a lot of extracurricular work. So it was very tough to get into the program. So I ended up coming back home, and my mom is the mother who says, good old Southern Baptist woman, she says, you're going to go to school or go to work, but you're not going to sit around the house.
Come on now.
And so I did both. I ended up
sounds like
both.
my mom, man. Look, you would not be up in this house just sitting around watching TV all day having fun. No, you're going to be working or in school.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
For sure.
So I went to AB Tech, and I started just taking some general courses and realized that business permeates everything.
Yes.
And so that's when I just started taking business courses. Ended up getting an associate's degree in business, and a friend of mine phoned me as soon as I graduated and informed me that his parents had, specifically his father, had decided to give him the keys to the family business. Oh, I'm not going to give you too much information on it, but give him the keys to the family business. Right. And so he grew up in the family business, and he calls me and he says, "You have a business degree. I need your help." And I laughed. I was just like, oh my gosh, I have an associate's, and he's asking me to come in here and help him run this thing. And this was a business that actually started in 1971. Wow. So it was a
pressure. That's a lot of pressure, man.
It was pressure.
I mean, I'll be honest, but then something in me just says he must have seen something within you to say that, I can trust Mr. Adams. I can trust him to really come through and really run this whole business, which is huge. I mean, which speaks volumes. I mean, with you, I mean, that's just that's awesome.
And one thing I want to let the audience know too is this person was not a person of color. Okay, okay.
Because, let them know.
So he's someone that I actually was a longtime friend with.
Right.
And based on my reputation growing
up,
I was always the responsible one.
Yes.
And he was like, "Man, I just need you to come here and we need some structure." And so he believed in me, and I ended up being at that business for about 13 years. I left that business for just external reasons. Let's put it that way. Nothing negative at all. Just growth. And I ended up going back to, while I was there, I got my bachelor's degree, and when I left, I went to get my master's degree in business.
Nice.
And one day I was sitting in a classroom with Dr. Joseph Fox, who at the time was the chair of the business department at AB Tech. You may know Dr. Fox. And so we were on one of the breaks, and he says, "What do you want to do when you finish this program?" And I said, I don't know. I said, I really just want to help people not make the same mistakes that we made.
Right.
And he said, you need to go talk to the Small Business Center. And I said, what's the Small Business Center? He said, we'll be talking about it next week. And long story short, again, old school. There was an opening at the Small Business Center. I went up there with my paper resume,
Right.
and talked to Daryl Rhymes in HR. And long story short, that's where I ended up.
Wow.
And I love it. Been there ever since.
Wow.
Working with entrepreneurs and small business owners. Yeah.
That's just, see, I think so many people have to realize the thing that I feel like transcends so much is your character.
Yeah.
No one can take away your character. No one can take away your own work ethic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that alone like speaks volumes. And so for someone to see that within you and then give you a huge shot, and then which really just transcended, color, race, all of that. He just said, hey, I trust you. I know that you work hard. I know that you are intelligent.
Right.
And I know that you can figure this out.
Right.
Which speaks volumes.
Right.
And so I guess that's like a little nugget, I guess, that, I want to just leave out there of like, hey, you can transcend so many barriers based off of your character alone.
So here's the thing too, and I want to get this out there. 'Cause
Yeah, please do.
And I don't know if we came here for this, but when we talk about the conversation of race, I always ask people, I say, who do you know that doesn't look like you? Who are you friends with? And I don't mean you go to work with and y'all go to lunch every once in a while. I mean, who do you really know as a friend? Who knows your family, right? You know each other's family. You know each other's background. You know each other's character.
Yes.
Not what you perceived,
Right.
but what you actually know. And that's what's so important for us. That is so important for us. And we're missing a lot of opportunity and value with other people when we don't have that open-mindedness.
Yes.
So, but I'm here because of someone who was very open and willing to give me an opportunity regardless.
Oh man, I love that. I love that so much, man. There's so much more that we will be getting into. We're going to, kind of transition into a few more other topics. But for right now, we will close it down, and hopefully you will be coming back to join us or for another interview.
Okay.
Thank you guys for tuning in, and you guys take care and see us on the next interview.